Okay, so the American conservatives, which are the Republicans, are and have committed and exercised war on the world. Best trading partners through tariffs. And once you get a situation where Trump doesn't like the way things are going, he'll change the deal. So any deal with any of the former allies means nothing because Trump continually changes his mind and doesn't hesitate to change what is. So the Republicans have committed war economically and kinetically on the world. You're seeing it right now in Iran. So the only person that doesn't get tariffed is Russia. You got to ask again. Do you have to ask again? Like, it's pretty obvious. Russia does not have a better GDP than Canada, yet you're tariffing a relationship that you've had a trade relationship with many decades. You're tariffing it. You're hurting your constituents with the tariffs. You're obviously hurting your trade partner as well. Like, it's a two-way street and it's working both ways. So just so you can be friends with Russia that invaded Ukraine, like these warmongers, so you can keep people in fear, that is no way to be a leader. That's the wrong way to be a leader. This stuff's got to stop. And you take over Venezuela and you think it's okay. The American people, apathy, indifference. Like, what is wrong with you? Even a woman's right to an abortion. And you come up with all sorts of pushbacks. And then a guy will say, well, his response is it takes two to dance. But the thing is, a woman can't get pregnant without the participation of a male, but you only penalize the woman. So that makes no sense. That's an argument that's a non sequitur. It's not valid. But you push it, that narrative anyways. It makes you feel good. And you're supposed to be smart. You consider yourself smart, yet you adopt these narratives that are far from being fair to the human being, and you don't think twice about it. Now here, Aaron Parnas is going to explain a few things. You got to get rid of this guy, Trump. This guy is hurting the America. He's hurting the world. And he's physically hurting people in other countries with kinetic pressure and exerting his whims and will on others. Not the American people. A certain amount of the American people support him. The other part tries to intellectualize what's going on. So another waste of time. You've got Bitcoin. Bitcoin? Yeah. You promote Bitcoin. You got the Genius Act. You promote Bitcoin. A guy like Anthony Scaramucci and others promote Bitcoin. Bitcoin is being used as a conduit by autocrats like Putin and other autocrats and the criminal element around the world to move funds. The average Joe is trying to make money off of Bitcoin because they're told they can make money off Bitcoin. And all they're doing is feeding organized crime and autocrats that are working against the average Joe around the world. And you just don't get it. You just keep up with a circular way of living, never address the problem or the issues, and create a new construct that works to the benefit of people to have a better human experience. So we got an issue. We need to change how your country's ruled because you're out of control. You've had privileges that have been exercised and given to you since the Second World War. You've abused that privilege, and it's glaringly obvious now under the tutelage of a guy by Donald Trump. All the signs were there after the first term that this guy is a bad actor. He only thinks about himself and self-enrichment and his ego. And you still give him a second swing at the can, and yet you stand back and sit back in state of apathy, indifference, and another pushback excuses. Well, all politicians are corrupt, but you have the power to shape the politicians and to shape the voice of the politicians to serve the people and not themselves. And you keep giving that power away. Let's go to Aaron Parnas.
Change the House of Representatives as we know it. Take a listen.
What's going to happen if we lose these elections, the House, in this case the House, and it's going to be a disaster. If they do this, they're guaranteed to pick up a lot of seats. And everybody knows it's unjust, including them.
Everybody knows it's unjust, including them. And then you buy into that. You got to wake up, people. It's time you can wake up. Like, quit this woke bullshit, blaming people. Oh, you're woke. We got to get rid of this woke nature. You got a guy like Pete Hegseth running the military. This guy is not qualified for the job. People are being hurt because he's just a bootlicker for Donald Trump. He'll do everything he can for Donald Trump. Same with Kash Patel. Neither one is qualified for their job, and it's the wrong way to go, and you just acquiesce, and you think nothing of it. You even get people, ICE. ICE is a regiment under the direct control of the administration in the White House, and they murder people in Minnesota. Where else? How much do you not know what they've done? The other thing you should be aware of, Donald Trump, his first term, wanted to hang dead bodies from the southern border to keep people from coming in. Like, you really lost your way. Immigration's not the problem because you're being sold a bad bill of goods using fear, criminals, insane asylums. You've been sold a bad bill of goods and you lap it up. You don't question it. You don't think twice about it. And then you go on with your life and you complain about the price of gas, and that's all. And then argue back and forth.
It's unjust. It's a disaster. That's what the president is saying about what could happen tonight in Virginia. Here's more.
What they're going to be doing with this referendum. If the Democrats, if they get additional House seats, at some point, if they get these additional seats, they're going to be making changes at the federal level.
That's what he's saying, that there's going to be changes to the federal level. And he's saying that Virginia, you have to vote no to save your country. Now, this election is a critical one. Polls will close, I believe, at 7 p.m. tonight.
Okay, so these polls in Virginia closing 7 p.m. tonight. It's about time to stand up for what needs to be done to reverse the bad that's been created because people want to club other people. People want to abuse and take away the free will of other people. And it's a shame. You've got autocrats, which are oligarchs, which are tech bros, that are exerting their will for profits. The big glorious bill gives $30,000+ to the billionaires. Meanwhile, average Joe, well, you don't have to pay tax on your tips. This is how they confuse you. This is how they con you. And you lap it up and you buy it up. And you give away your power and you get nothing. You keep getting abused because the financial crash of 2007, 2008 didn't hurt anybody in the financial services sector. But who paid for it? The average Joe. Everybody else got bailed out except for the average Joe. He got taxed over time trying to balance budgets, keep budgets in line because nobody understands how money's made, but nonetheless, or created. That's another topic. But this Virginia vote right now needs to go no against the Republicans. If you really want to save or start saving your republic, because it's going to take a long time to get any trust in your country and around the world. You've abused that. You've tarnished your reputation. But you've really exposed the level of consciousness of the collective of the people. And this is something you really need to look inwardly and maybe start moving from a different direction, from a position of kindness to self and kindness to others. Let's go back to Mr. Parnas here.
And then we should have results. Virginia counts quick. So we should have results by 8 p.m. maybe even a little bit earlier. I will have an update for you right when the race is called. You will know from me directly. And I think it's an important election because it could do one of two things, right? Number one, it could ensure that Democrats pick up 4 seats in the House of Representatives, making it even harder for Republicans to retain their majority. That would be a significant win for Democrats if they won tonight. Now, the election is going to be close, don't get me wrong. In fact, early voting turnout favors Republicans. And so if Republicans win and Virginia votes no, then that'll be a huge win for the president, huge win for Mike Johnson, and it'll be a huge loss for Virginia Democrats, especially Governor Abigail Spanberger, whose legacy in a lot of ways is tied to what happens tonight. So we'll see what voters decide. Now, some Republicans today, like Tucker Carlson, are issuing an apology. Take a listen.
And I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for...
Here's the key words. I'm sorry for misleading, but he's not the only one. He's at least finally admitting it. He's been misleading you. And here's the other thing. You get so caught up on, and this is Mick Mulvaney and the other guy with the mustache that ended up getting all his documents, his home raided, trying to be put in jail. So John Bolton, you only vote your tribe, no matter how bad this guy is. This guy, Donald Trump, he's not a good man. He may do some good things to his family and stuff like that, and to other people to give them this, preying on their psychology so that they think they got to vote for him. But he's not a leader. He's never run a corporation or a company profitably, doesn't know how to read a balance sheet, and he only thinks about himself and his buddies. And that's all he's enriching. He doesn't care about the country. But he's got you following the tribal, you wear the Republican badge on your shoulder, on your heart, and then you wake up one day and say, holy crap, what's happened? And then usually that's when it's too late. It's time now to change. There's no reason for pain and suffering for anybody. You can have harmony, benevolence, and abundance. You have that choice. You can let go of pain and suffering now and make the choice to make a difference for your life today, the children and the children after that, and everybody else around the world, because it's not exclusive to you. You've had the privilege of leading the free world. You've abused that privilege. It's about time to correct everything, go away from pain and suffering, and allow for harmony, benevolence, and abundance in its place. And you can make that choice now. Love and peace to everyone. Take care. And vote in Virginia. Republicans are out of control. They picked war upon their own people, picked war upon the world, and it needs to stop now. Thank you. Take care. And again, love and peace to everyone. Ciao for now.